Welcome to this Saturday morning webinar. The Internet is a gigantic repository of authentic materials. We will be discussing how to locate authentic materials on the web, and then we will have I will introduce a few websites and tools that might help you in that. And at the end, you will choose one of the two. You will explore it, and then we will share ideas on how we can use these tools to introduce different activities to your students. Okay? So before we start, I have a question to you. How will you define authentic materials? So what does this word combination mean to you? Okay, so your ideas, your suggestions, you can type them in the chat box. Okay, so what does this mean to you? Materials that haven't been written for ESL learners, okay. Something real, not made up, okay. Found materials, great, thank you. Information which is reliable and dependable. Materials produced by native language bearers, okay. Okay, great. So, yes, you are right. The definition of authentic materials, they're slightly different in literature, and what's common in all these definitions is the exposure to real language and its use in its own community. Authentic materials can be described as anything created for native speakers of the language. Newspapers, brochures, TV shows, songs, news, anything. And if we are talking about online environment, basically anything on the web that was created for native speakers is an authentic material. And you can use all these resources for your sessions, for your classes. And let's see how your students might benefit from it, from using authentic materials in their language learning. Authentic materials, they enable learners to interact with real language, right? And with content rather than with the form. And considering this, it may not be wrong to say that at any level, authentic materials should be used to complete this gap between the competency and the performance of the language learners, which is a common problem among the non-native speakers. And this requires the language patterns that our students learn. It requires them to being put into the practice in real-life situations. This is why it's important to have to introduce language tasks to your students, and this is important why we should use the authentic, the real materials, real-life materials for those activities. So the main advantages of authentic materials are that they have positive effect on learners' motivation. So learners believe that they learn the real language, and they know that this is the language that native speakers use. Also, authentic materials, they provide cultural information. So besides just learning the language itself, students, they learn a lot about the target culture. For example, at English Online, we have lots of our learners are pre-arrivals, so they're not in Canada yet. And introducing these authentic materials to them will help them learn more about the Canadian culture, about how things work in Canada, and so on. And authentic materials, they relate more closely to learners' needs. because they provide exposure to real language, to the language used in the real life. And they support more creative approach to teaching. So you are the designer of your course. You take those authentic materials and you work with them and create dozens and dozens of activities for your students. And we of course, there are a number of drawbacks. For example, authentic materials often contain difficult language, unneeded vocabulary items, complex language structures, local slang expressions, and so on. And all these might cause a burden for a teacher in lower level classes. So too many structures are mixed, causing lower levels have a hard time decoding those texts and so on. Okay, so we have a question. So we can't consider English Central website an authentic material. It all depends on the videos that they have there. Part of their videos are authentic, so they are commercials created or different promo videos created for native speakers. Some of them are materials created for language learners. So it's not about the website, it's about the content that they have there. So if you introduce an activity using a chocolate bar commercial created for native speakers, then it's an authentic material. Okay? Great. At the same time, even though our students and we as a teachers might face difficulties when working with authentic materials, at the same time, students exposed to authentic materials in the classroom are better able to process foreign language input when in real life situations when they have to communicate with native speakers. And I think I've already mentioned that authentic materials are valuable because they contain cultural aspects and they show the students the real samples of language as used by native speakers. In other words, authentic materials are a highly effective way to bring the target culture closer and raise the cultural awareness. So use them not only as the source for your classes, use them as introduction to the Canadian culture. Okay, so I'm sure everyone at some point used authentic materials in this or that teaching situation. So please share what types of authentic materials have you ever used. Okay, so what are the examples of the authentic materials that you introduced to your students? Flyers, okay, great, thank you. TED Talks videos, okay, job interviews, wonderful. YouTube video, okay. Magazines, classified sections on newspapers, movies, videos, books, novels, perfect. TED videos, okay, great, wonderful, thank you. So the idea that authentic materials should be used as a source of language and culture has long been accepted among language educators, right? So with the advent of the internet, the advent of the internet tremendously increased the availability of those authentic materials, both for students and teachers. We can consider the internet as an immense library of authentic materials, and instructors can use those materials in their classroom to help prepare learners for getting a job in Canada, for example, or to introduce them to the Canadian culture, or help them improve their English language skills, their conversational skills, and so on. And if you have access to the internet in your face-to-face classroom, or if your students have access to the internet at home, or if you're teaching online, then you have the world's vast ESL resource at your fingertips. And it's all there for you. Much of it is free, accessible, and transmissible. The vast majority of the websites contain authentic materials in the sense that they were created for English-speaking audience without any thought of non-native speakers. And here, within a couple of clicks of your mouse, you can find everything from government news releases to Tim Hortons menu. And you can use these materials either as a source for classroom handouts that you would exploit just any other authentic material that you just listed. So, for example, newspapers or magazines or flyers, the paper ones. Or you can use them as an arena for your students to explore them themselves. Okay, and the World Wide Web, it's a vast virtual library, and it offers almost endless range of topics to choose from. This is absolutely a benefit, but at the same time it's a drawback, because visiting many separate websites to find out if content on these websites has been updated or not can take a long time. And while preparing for their classes, instructors usually spend lots of time Googling for this or that topic, trying to choose the materials that they need for their classes, right? That's why today we are discussing the aggregation technology that helps consolidate many websites on one page, and that can show the new updated information from many websites on one personalized space. So all the instead of going through different online resources, you can get them within one web page. So this is what we're going to discuss today. Okay, and this process of collecting those resources and putting them into one place, it happens through the process of syndication, which might mean almost nothing to you, me, or half of the web users out there. So what it means is that the website material is made available to multiple other websites. Most commonly, when people talk about web syndication, they mention web feeds. And web feed, it's a file that contains certain information. For example, the headline, the summary, some metadata, and aggregators, tools or websites that have this certain algorithm. They can collect these web feeds and show them on one web page. Usually, it's used for websites where the content is updated quite frequently. For example, blogs or news, podcasts, video channels, and so on. The most important part is that these feeds, they update automatically. So you as an end user do not need to do anything. There are two main families of web syndication formats. They are RSS and Atom. I think you've probably heard about them, and there are numerous feed readers available on the web. So in order to receive those updates, you will need to subscribe to certain websites. Today, we're not going to discuss that. Instead, we will talk about tools that will help you get the content that you might probably need around a certain topic. Okay, and the process of web syndication, it will help you save time, because you no longer need to go to different single websites, and you will receive timely information within one space, and it will increase your productivity, and I hope it will help you save some time while prepping for your classes. Everyone has probably used one of the aggregators at some point. For example, news aggregators or social networks. For example, if you have a Twitter account, when you read your Twitter feeds, you see only updates of the different users posted, right? Or, for example, on Facebook, you don't need to go to every single user's account to see what's new there, right? And there are two types of aggregators that we are going to discuss today. They are algorithm-based aggregators, when everything is done automatically, and algorithm and human-based hybrids. So when there is a person behind the scenes who selects certain materials for you. Okay, when we talk about algorithm-based tools, the aggregation is entirely automatic. Algorithm carries out some kind of contextual analysis, and it groups similar pieces of information together. You as an end user do not need to know that. This is just for you to have an idea how it happens. Now we are going to look at different examples of such aggregation websites and discuss how they work. Okay? If you have any questions or if you have any comments, please feel free to leave them in the chat box. Okay, so the first website that I'd like to introduce to you is Google News. Is anyone using this website to read the news? This or any other aggregation website? No? Okay. Okay, so it's a free news aggregator. It's provided and operated by Google. So if you go to Google, among other applications that they have, like the Gmail, the images, and so on, they also have news. And Google News, it selects most up-to-date information from thousands of publications by its automatic aggregation. So it aims to organize the world's news and make it accessible to its users while providing best possible experience for those seeking useful and timely information. Even if you don't have Google account, you can go there and choose one of the topics, the default topics that they have, for example, Canada, and see the most up-to-date news from different sources there. So you don't need to go to a particular news agency website. You can get all the information in one place. If you have Google account, you can get even more relevant and useful information for your context the information more relevant to your learners' needs. You can customize your news page. You can change Google News to your liking. For example, here you can see there are a bunch of their default topics, and you can maximize or minimize this or that topic depending on your preferences and depending on your learners' interests. And also you can get personalized content. So you can choose from an endless range of topics that interest you, and you can easily add them to that list of topics that Google News will be searching for. For example, here I've added Manitoba. It wasn't in the default list, and you see that in my list here, in my list of news, I have news from Manitoba. And you can do this for anything, almost anything. Any trends or hobbies or events and so on. So depending on your on the context of your classes and depending on your students' needs, you can modify this news page and make it more relevant to you and your learners. And Google News scans over 50,000 sources on the web, so you will get, you might get different perspectives on the same topic, and you can use it to discuss with your high-level students, for example, or you can use Google News website, introduce it to your students, ask them to read at least one piece of news every day, and then discuss those knowledge to practice small talk, for example. Explain your learners how to initiate the small talk, and so on, depending on this or that news. Okay? So the other tool that I would like to introduce to you is Planner. It's a virtual travel planner that that punches out travel plans according to a person's interests. They have a bunch of cities from all over the world. Unfortunately, there is only one Canadian city among those. It's Toronto. But still, you can get lots of information from this website if you're discussing traveling, or if you're discussing hotel booking, or if you're discussing navigating in the city, and so on. When you go to this website, no sign up is required, so you can choose trip style, for example, family, outdoors, or cultural, and so on, depending on your students' needs. And you can get results that are relevant to the days, to the dates of your staying there. Then you will need to choose the hotel and the vacation's overall intensity. For example, early rises, or easygoing, or moderate, or even extreme if you want to wake up early and see everything, and so on. Depending on that, you will get the amount of information that you will get will vary. After you provide this information, Planner aggregates information from different websites, from Wikitravel, from TripAdvisor, from a bunch of other from a bunch of other sources for travelers, and it generates a personal travel trip plan. So it even this trip plan will be based on opening hours of different sites, and it will provide you with maps of routes and even public transportation times. And for each of the sites, for each of the attractions, you will get pictures and descriptions from a bunch of websites. So you do not need to go to those different websites in order to collect this information about this or that museum. For example, you will get it in one place for you to develop your activities based on this information. It automatically takes into consideration working days, opening hours, attraction distances, travel times, and so on. So this is another source of inspiration for you to create the language activities for your students. Okay, so no sign up is required. The other website is called Indeed. Have you ever used this website? This is, yes, okay, great. This is the job aggregation website. It's a job aggregator. So instead of pounding the pavement, you can suggest your learners pound the keyboard, and you can get dozens of job advertisements within one place. So using this one website, you can search through more job sites and employer sites. Again, instead of going to different online job boards and so on, you need to go to indeed.ca, type in what you need, and then you will get this range of job advertisements. And so technically it's job aggregated, collects millions of jobs from tens of thousands of sources and puts them all in one place for you to search for any job you want. The jobs included in the Indeed database are jobs posted on such huge websites as Monster or Career Builder and many others. Jobs posted on local newspaper websites, other online classifieds, jobs posted on smaller regional or niche job sites, and jobs posted directly on employers' websites. For example, on this screenshot, you can see that the first job is the job directly from the employer's website. Indeed throws all those links into to individual postings into a gigantic database, and then it adds powerful searching capabilities, so you can search for some specific information and get the job advertisements that you need. This is a great tool to introduce to your students, for them to explore local labor market, and for you can compare and contrast job advertisements on different online job boards versus job advertisements posted directly by employers. And also some of the advertisements, they have apply online function. So you can, it's a great chance for you to practice applying online together with your students. So you can do it in class and so on. Do not hit apply button if you're not ready to do that, though. No sign up is required. If you decide to sign up for an account with them, then you can keep the track of advertisements that you've looked at and so on. But basically, you do not need any account with them. Okay. Another website that I want to introduce to you is called Padmapper. It's also an aggregation website. It was created to help users find the perfect apartment. So what it does, it plots apartment listings on a big map, and then it lets you filter for exactly what you want. And the main goal is to make apartment of this website is to make apartment hunting information some less dreadful for people. So you do not need to make some big spreadsheets to keep track of what you've seen and to compare and contrast those listings and so on. So you will get everything within one website, and it aggregates listings from various online sources, including Craigslist and Kijiji. And every time you will get up-to-date information, because the syndication process is done automatically. And you will get all those listings on one map for you to choose the areas of the city that have more open vacancies, for example, and discuss it with your learners. There are also neat overlays that might help you create even more activities and may help your learners in their apartment search if it's their need. For example, you can learn about different. You can learn about nearby stores, gyms, bars, restaurants, parks, schools, and so on within the walking distance of this or that apartment. You can use different filters to see only the results that matter for your learners' needs or for your teaching context. For example, you can set a rent range or the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, and so on. The type of housing, for example, leases, sublets, rooms, shares, and so on. This is another source of new vocabulary for your low-level learners. And you can use the keyword search. For example, if you put a minus sign in front of the word, you will exclude those listings from your search. For example, if you put minus basement, your students won't get listings of apartments located in the basement. Again, no sign up is required, so you can start using it with your learners right away. The tools that we've discussed that we've just discussed with you, are algorithm-based. So everything there happens automatically. The tool gets this information from different websites and puts them into one place for you to get access to it. This is when, but at the very beginning, I've also mentioned that there are aggregators that combine algorithm and human work. This is when aggregation and curation overlap. So we've talked a lot about aggregation. What will happen if we could combine the two, both curation and aggregation? So let's see what it is. But before we have a look at a couple more websites, I have a question to you. What is curation? So what does it mean to you? Okay, so curation. Not sure, okay. Any ideas, any suggestions? Creating authentic information. Art is curated, yes. So this is the metaphor that's used for digital world. a kind of tutoring? Not exactly. So when we talk about digital curation versus the, for example, art curation, right? So digital curation is the selection and preservation, collection and archiving of some digital resources that you find useful and valuable. If we're talking about curation only, it's done manually, so you Google different resources, and once you find the one that you like and that might be valuable for other people, you curate it, so you keep it somewhere. If you're doing it for yourself only, you can do it in the Word document, right? If you want to contribute to the community and share your share these resources with other people, you can do this online. There are lots of different websites and tools that might help you with that. For example, Pinterest or Scoop.it and so on. You can even do it on Twitter. We are not going to talk about curation today. We will see at the aggregation websites with the elements of curation. So if in aggregation the information being gathered is done through automation, the use of algorithm, and then it's simply published on a single platform. When we talk about aggregation plus curation, we have someone behind the scenes. So there is a person who picks valuable resources out of that out of the resources selected by the algorithm. For you as an end user, you will see no difference. So it's the same. You will get one space with different resources, but there's always be a person, a human being behind the scenes, and this curation is obviously slower and it's more resource intensive, but at the same time it allows for better targeting of information to the audience. I want to show you two more websites that technically do the same thing as aggregators, but their materials are human selected. The first one is called Goji. What they do, they curate hand-selected recipes from food and drink writers in the world. They have both a website and an app, and it offers personalized recommendations to individuals based on their personal preferences. So you can indicate what you have in your fridge and what ingredients you dislike, and then you'll enjoy a huge number of mouth-watering recipes. For example, if you don't want to talk about desserts with your students and you are searching for eggs, you can add sugar to your dislikes to exclude many desserts from the results. It's a great website if you are planning to work on food or cooking with your students, if it's relevant to their needs. Technically, it's just a portal through to other sites. So you won't see the actual recipe on this website. You will see the ingredients and the link to the source website. So you will need to click on it to get the recipe. That's why it's an aggregator. So it aggregates information from different blogs for you to pick and choose from. Okay. Unfortunately, they ask for registration, so you need to sign up for an account to use their website, but it's just a matter of 2 clicks. And it's good for low-level learners. Oh, is sound breaking up just for Sharon, or it's for everyone? Okay. It's better now for me. Oh, okay. Sorry for the problems. Okay. But still you can hear me, right? Oh, okay. Perfect. Okay. And so if you're working with your low-level learners on the topic food, this is the place for you to go. And another website that's that is technically an aggregator, but again, it has lots of human work behind the scenes. It's called SkipThe Dishes. Have you ever used this website before? No? Okay. This type of websites give a little information, then you're directed to the main website. Exactly. So what all these websites that we are talking about do, they collect the basic information for you, and then if you want more details, you need to go to the source website. The only website among those that I've mentioned that needs subscription is the Goji, the previous one. All others are registration free. Okay. So SkipThe Dishes. It's Canada's largest delivery network. As they say, what they do is they connect hungry people with restaurants. So they're not a restaurant or delivery company. They provide an improved way to get the food you love to where you are. And they have their services in Winnipeg, in Saskatoon, Regina, Calgary, and Edmonton. So Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. The process is convenient and pretty simple. So you go online to their website, you punch in the area code, and local restaurants using this service will pop up on your screen. And you can go to the certain restaurant, choose, for example, the cuisine that you prefer, go to the restaurant, and you will get full menus there. So you can read the meal name, you can read the ingredients, and so on. So no more paper menus are required for your classes. You can just go online and do the same with your learners. You can compare prices. You can discuss the difference between main courses, desserts, and so on. So technically, you get a bunch of menus of different types on one website. You can discuss with your learners how to deliver online, because this is the part of the Canadian culture, and especially if they are pre-arrival learners. And because this type of dining might be new for them, right? So you're sharing the Canadian culture as well. They require no sign-up, and if you are located outside of these provinces, for example, if you are in BC or Ontario, you can still use it for your students to introduce how menus are arranged in Canada. Or probably they might have some chain restaurants there that you also have in your province. Okay, so the websites that we've just discussed with you are sources of materials. for you to create your activities and for your learners to work on certain tasks. So we've discussed Google News, Planner, Indeed, Padmapper, Goji, and SkipThe Dishes. So now it's your turn. So please choose any website that you like. Go to their website, but please note that in order to play with the settings on Google News, you need a Google account. And the Goji, they ask for sign up. And go to any website, play with it, and think about activities that might be introduced using this or that tool, okay? So you have 5 minutes, and then please come back and share your ideas and recommendations on how to use this or that website with your students. Okay? You can just click on the on one of the links on this slide. Okay, so let's meet in 5 minutes. Okay, perfect. Okay, how's everyone doing? Oh, no problem, Alex. Well, feel free to touch wrong buttons. this is the way we learn, right? So if we do not know anything, let's try and experiment. This is the way how adults learn. Busy with planner, okay. Planner 2, okay. So we'll get lots of ideas how you can use planner with your students. Okay, so let's discuss. Please go back to the tab where you have big blue button and share your impressions, share your ideas, how you see this tool being used with your students, with your clients. I know we have lots of planner explorers. What about other tools? Indeed, okay. So please feel free to share your ideas, how you can use it, how you can use this or that website with your students, and how you can use those authentic materials. SkipThe Dishes, okay. Yeah, depending on learner's interests and needs, okay. I choose planner. I think students will like it. Students can be divided into pairs and make projects about various possibilities of making a trip depending on income level, interest of tourists, etc. Okay, wonderful. All great, different use, okay. I will have 2 advertisements, and it depends on learners if he or she is a teacher, okay. Could give students a budget for a 3-day trip, and different teams can present different ideas for the travel itinerary. Okay, great, wonderful. Give student a budget, type of restaurant, and have them to check the website and design the menu. Okay, great, thank you for your ideas. So you can use these materials that those aggregators will give you for different purposes, right? So ask them to compare if she's looking for part-time or full-time. Okay, so you can, for example, plan a family vacation in Toronto or in any other city, right? Or you can give them a list of requirements and ask them to find to a certain type of housing. You can ask them to order food for a potluck at work, or find a job ad and write a cover letter for this particular job advertisement. You can practice small talk on current events with them, and so on. So the opportunities of how to use those materials are endless, and it all depends on your learner's needs and your context, as someone has already mentioned. And it all depends on your level, on your and your students' level of comfort with technology. If you feel that this activity does not work for your students, that's totally fine. Just try it again when you feel both of you are ready for this. Okay, and I want to remind you that this webinar is a part of the series of training webinars for English Online e-volunteers. We have a wonderful team of e-tutors, e-mentors, and settlement e-volunteers who support newcomers to Manitoba. Thank you very much for that. I can see lots of our e-volunteers here this morning. And if you're interested in joining our team and see what it feels like to teach online, please contact me and I will be more than happy to share more information about our programs. And you can also find details on our website. And thank you for your active participation. Thank you for your great ideas, your questions and comments. You can see my contact information on this slide. If you need a certificate of participation, please email me within 1 hour after this session, and I will forward you your certificate next week. This webinar is recognized by TESOL Ontario as a PD activity, so you can use this certificate to accumulate your PD hours. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. It was my pleasure having this discussion with you today, and have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you online next time, okay? Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.